Am I the asshole for yelling at my aunt after she kept pressuring me to marry her son? I'm 24F from Pakistan. Here cousin marriages are common and my aunt keeps pressuring me to marry her son, 25M, since I was a teen. This started in my teen years. My aunt would start making jokes such as, "You'd make a good daughter-in-law," or, "You and her son's name would make a good couple," etc. I used to brush it off back then, ignore it and such, hoping it would stop, but they never did. Instead, it started being more common. She started doing it every time we met and I've shut her down politely every time, saying I'm not interested and it won't ever happen. My mom knew how much it bothered me. She didn't want to disrespect her elders, so she kept quiet and only spoke about it in private when my aunt messaged her. My mom told me to keep quiet and ignore because she won't let it happen. This was very uncomfortable. This whole thing gave my cousin some wrong ideas because he started messaging me in private saying things like, "We're getting married in the future, so why aren't you talking to me now?" I just ghost him and ignore his messages. Just a few years ago, I lost my temper at a family gathering after my aunt said, "You're all grown up now, when are you going to marry him? Our decision is final." The strong feeling of ick and cringe just made me lash out. I yelled at my aunt, calling her stupid for not listening to me and not understanding what no means. I used mild swear words as well and it was a whole heated argument. To end the argument, my brother had to physically carry me out of the house, where I had a breakdown and we all just left her house. My mom was hurt by this a lot and I could feel the pain in her voice whenever we spoke about this. She said she just wishes I handled it differently. After this came a series of unwanted toxicity and drama. My aunt yelled at my mom, making her look like a terrible person for letting that happen and cut off all ties. She influenced mom's oldest sister and brother to do the same. My cousin got married to someone else and we found out about it through someone else. He got married and divorced just later that year, and somehow my aunt managed to partially blame me and mom for that divorce even though we played no part in it. My mom deals with her siblings often and sometimes they drag her into dramas. I've seen her cry in her room alone because of this and it makes me feel bad. I feel like I should have done better or done things differently for the sake of my mom. All this toxicity and drama would have been avoided if I did things different. Not the asshole at all. Your aunt has some weird delusion that after you say no 100 times you were still going to marry him. You are your own person and deserve respect. No should be telling anyone who to marry. Heck, you don't have to marry at all if you don't want to. Not the asshole. Did your mom really, truly have a healthy relationship with her siblings before this? It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like her big sister was used to being able to mistreat her and your mom would just take it. Your mom is still stuck in the mentality, which is unfortunate. The best thing you can do is live a great life. That will give your mom something happy to focus on, and a role model, for how to live differently. Be kind to yourself or to build a peaceful, happy life. Not the asshole. All of this toxicity and drama is there because your aunt won't accept no as an answer, not you. You had a perfectly reasonable response to someone wanting to marry you off to an annoying cousin. It sounds like your family was used to your mother doing whatever they wanted to keep the peace and intended to do the same to you. The situation has always been toxic, but now you don't have to worry about that lady being both your aunt and your mother-in-law, because if you think this is bad, imagine how much worse it would have been to be related to them through blood and the law. That lady would try and run over you and control your children as well, except now you would have had to pay to get out of it. A lot of the opinions you're going to get here are from a Western perspective. I do know what it's like to live in Pakistan, but here is my 2 cents. You are not the asshole. You shouldn't have to marry anyone if you don't want to. Aunt should have backed off years ago. And especially if your parents don't agree with her, there is no reason to tell you, the decision is final. This is the issue I have with cultures where respect is demanded solely by age or birth order. Your mother seems afraid to upset her older siblings, but they don't sound like they deserve any respect. They're treating you and her poorly. From Pakistan, I don't blame you in the least. She pushed and pushed and you broke, especially with your cousin buying into your aunt's delusions. Your mother is better off without toxic relationships and people in her life, but you have to realize she may not see it that way given the importance of family in our culture. I'd encourage you to persuade her for therapy to gain another outlook if she is open to it. And to build a community outside of family. Am I the asshole for going into detail of my shitty date to make a mother piss off and leave me alone? I'm writing this with a bit of a cooler head than earlier in the day and wondering if maybe I'd gone too far. My boyfriend certainly thinks so. I, 22F. Have blonde hair that goes past my hips. I love my hair and put a lot of work into maintaining it, but you can imagine the comments I sometimes get being compared to Rapunzel, etc. And normally I laugh this off, and if it's a little kid I indulge them more often than not as it's cute. I've had a really rough day. My 11-year-old dog had to be put down due to cancer, and I'd went from the vets to a cafe not wanting to go home and see her things and be reminded of it all over again. So I'd been sitting at a table with a coffee waiting for my boyfriend, 23M, to finish work to come and meet me when a mother and her daughter who looked about 8-ish. IDK, I'm not good with kids' ages, it's a guesstimate, came up to me and asked if her daughter could take a picture with me as I looked just like Rapunzel. As I said, normally I'd indulge this, but I was not in the mood. I was in a low mood and had been crying a lot, so felt gross. I told them thank you for that compliment, but I didn't want to take a picture. The mother got really upset with me at that and told me I didn't have to be rude and how I didn't even smile, that it would cost me nothing to be nice and how her daughter was just a kid. I admit I lost my temper with this and told her I wasn't a Disney cast member for her to badger, that she asked and I said no. That I had just put my dog down and was hiding at this cafe as I was dreading going home to a house without my dog, that I had no interest in posing and putting on a happy face to take a picture with her child. I also started to cry again. She got very flustered at this and rushed her child away. My boyfriend finally got to the cafe around half an hour later, and I told him what had happened and he told me I took it too far, that just because I was having a shitty day didn't mean I needed to make other people shitty. I ended up going home not long after. Maybe I was too rude, IDK. It's too late to do anything about it, she was a stranger. I just feel raw emotionally. My boyfriend might be viewing my actions with a clearer head than me. Not the asshole people feel so entitled. Once politely declining, the mother should have walked away. I'm sure you weren't looking smiley and happy like Rapunzel. This is a lesson for the kid. Don't talk to strangers, kidding kinda. Your BF's reaction is the most concerning here. He should be supporting you. Not the asshole. That idiot had no business bothering you at all, let alone getting pissy when you said no. I see this a lot here. No is a complete sentence. Now, as long as you weren't rude to the 8-year-old? The self-entitled mother deserved the trauma dump. But you need a better boyfriend. Not the asshole. No is a complete sentence. No one is entitled to your time, image or smile. I'm so sorry for your loss. Sending you big hugs. P.S. I hope your boyfriend steps up and supports you through this because his initial reaction to what happened in the cafe wasn't great. You have every right to deny a stranger taking photos of you. I wouldn't even dream of asking a stranger to take a picture with my daughter. You are allowed to feel things and she should have explained to her child you are a normal person and not a fictional character. I'm sorry for the loss of your fur baby. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend not to join me on vacation because of her financial situation? I, 26M, have been dating my girlfriend, 25F, for almost a year. Soon, I'll be traveling to Las Vegas for a work event. My company is covering my round-trip international flight and expenses during the event. After that, I'm planning to use my vacation days to spend some time in Florida. That part will be paid out of my own pocket, domestic flight, accommodation, food, etc. My girlfriend wants to join me in Florida, but she's not in a good financial situation. I just received my annual bonus, which is just enough to cover my own travel plans. She doesn't have the money and suggested asking her dad to help cover the trip. Here's the thing. I know her family is struggling. They don't have a car, there's often a lack of basic groceries at home, no proper shower stall, no curtains, things like that. So it really doesn't sit right with me that she'd ask her dad for money to go on vacation while those basic needs are unmet. I'd love to travel with her someday, but I feel like this just isn't the right moment. I'm worried she'll take it personally or think I don't want her there. But to me, encouraging her to spend, or borrow, money for this trip feels irresponsible. Am I the asshole for thinking she shouldn't come and should use the money for more important things? I personally wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who knows their dad doesn't have money for groceries and wants to ask him to finance a non-essential trip for them anyway. That level of selfishness is a deal breaker for me. Not the asshole. I mean, you are not the asshole, but this really isn't up to you. It's her business to manage her finances and her relationship with her dad. I agree with you that what she is doing is dumb and selfish, but that's her choice. Personally though, I do think this says something about her judgment and character. She knows her family's situation. What does it say that she's willing to put them out like this for a vacation? Info. Has she asked for your opinion on this, or did she just let you know she might ask her dad? Frankly, reading that makes me think she is hoping you will bring her to the trip. You just got your bonus and she is broke. The "all AKS my dad" could be an awkward tip for you to step on. I could be wrong and just imagining things. What kind of person would ask her dad for a trip when she knows how they live? Pretty selfish to me. Not the asshole. I would tell her. The thing is, what you really should be thinking about is what kind of person would put their vacation needs over their family's basic needs. She sounds selfish and self-centered. Are you absolutely sure she isn't trying to guilt you into paying for her vacation? Am I the asshole for not allowing my aunt to meet my son? I, 45 male, got married late in life and my wife and I had our first child, one male. We live in a separate state from the rest of my family and visit maybe once a year. Growing up, my father's sister, 69 female, made my life a living hell for some reason. She would be in my much older brother's ear about how my parents preferred me over him. She would tell my parents that I would end up just like her juvenile delinquent daughter. Now that I'm an adult, she now will point out if I've gained weight, remind me of any mistakes I've made in life and generally just be nasty and shit-talk me to everyone. I had finally had enough during a random encounter with her while I was with a coworker. My coworker was singing my praises for helping her with the transition into her new role and that I was a good friend. My aunt said that couldn't possibly be true and that I'm bad at my job and a bad person in general. My coworker was appalled and asked if my aunt really was related to me. Once my son was born, I put my foot down and said I would not allow this toxic relationship anywhere near my boy as I want to protect him from her bullshit. We all recently met up in my home state for a wedding, and when she beelined to me and my son, I abruptly ignored her and went to a different part of the venue. My family generally understands my feelings towards her but thought I should have taken it easy since it was a joyous family event. My wife is firmly on my side. I want my son to have family, especially since he's the youngest by far, but I don't think being family is a pass to be a prick to someone. Am I the asshole? Edit. A few folks have asked how I could have run into my aunt while with my coworker if I live in a different state. I was living in the same state when that happened. I have since moved several states away. Update. Thank you to everyone that commented and helped me feel like I'm doing the right thing. My family gaslights a lot and I was genuinely afraid that I was overreacting as I can be a very passionate person. I've spoken to my father and another aunt who hold a lot of sway in the family and they have agreed to keep my toxic aunt away from me and my son. They also understand if I remove myself if she inserts herself into a situation where I'm around. I appreciate this community very much. Thanks again. Now that I'm an adult, she now will point out if I've gained weight, remind me of any mistakes I've made in life and generally just be nasty and shit-talk me to everyone. I think it's a fair assumption that she would drip poison into your child's ear as well. That's just who she is. It's unfortunate you've been exposed to her harassment. Moving forward, you can make the choice to protect your son from her influence. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I only wish that your parents could have protected you the way that you're protecting your son. She sounds like an awful woman. Not the asshole. I would block her, and if anyone questioned me about it, I would say something like, I have no need in my life for someone to cut me down at every opportunity, which is the only function she has ever served for me. Strangers on the street who completely ignore me treat me better than she does. I have no desire to inflict that sort of person on my child. I had a great aunt like this. She was never happy unless she was making someone else miserable. Not the asshole. Protect your family. Not the asshole. Where are your parents in this? Because they should have cut her off the moment she showed hostility towards you as a child, but the thing that should have definitely motivated them to cut her off was her whispering all that rubbish in your brother's ear. How can they sit back letting one of their siblings try and cause a rift between two of their kids? I really hope they weren't any of the family members who were telling you that you should have gone easier on her at the wedding. If they were, you might want to reconsider your relationship with them because they seriously failed you as a child allowing that woman in your life. Not the asshole. My family generally understands my feelings towards her. Stop them, right there. Tell them that there are ifs, ands, or buts allowed.